Hello everyone, my name is Pukar Dhital. I'm an English instructor and today we're covering Grade 5 English. We'll be going through the reading comprehension of talking about monsoon season. Let's begin the class.
So let's begin the chapter, or in fact, Unit 10, talking about months and seasons. I want you to first of all observe this picture as seen here. Now, these are something related to a particular day or month or even year. So I want you to observe the picture first of all. Here you go. Observe all these pictures and then we begin the conversation. So as when we read the conversation, one of you can take the role of A, the other can take the role of B. And then after you're done, again, let your other friend get the same chance, all right? The other student would take the role of A and then B, and this way many of you can participate. So what day is today? It's Sunday. Next, what day was yesterday? It was Saturday. What day is tomorrow? It's Monday. Which month is this? It's November. What is the date? It's 16th November. When were you born? I was born on July 14th, 1995. See? Very easy. Let's move ahead. Now observe this chant or this poem. Okay? First of all, what I want you to do is I want you to observe the picture very carefully. Observe this particular picture and write in your own words. Write in your own words what you see in the picture. Now remember, what you write does not have anything to do with the poem we're about to read. It's entirely your observation. You can do that in your English copy. You can do that in the classroom first of all. Maybe a teacher would give you 8 minutes to 10 minutes time. First observe the picture and then start writing a good one paragraph. Somewhere around 140 words. That would be good. All right, and then we chant. Let's chant this. Winter, spring, summer, fall. These are seasons four in all. Weather changes, sun, rain, and snow. Leaves fall down and flowers grow. Winter, spring, summer, fall. These are seasons four in all. Look outside and you will see just what seasons it will be. Very simple poem or chant, and of course it talks about 4 seasons. See, winter, summer, spring, and fall. Okay, and there's one very simple question here. Name the seasons the picture represents. Now, which season do you think is this? See, so maybe it's spring or maybe it's summer. What do you say? So name the seasons the picture represents. It's very simple. Okay, maybe the picture represents spring and summer. Very simple thing to do. Now let's move further. We're going to read a passage now, a very beautiful story, right? So again, same thing here. All right, this is the now first observe the picture. You can see a very big snake here and it's devouring a ship. Okay, now you can imagine its size. All right, and of course again, first of all, observe the picture and write about it. All right, first do this classwork. Observe the picture and write. So before we begin the story, first observe the picture and write about it in about 150 words. And remember, what you write has no relevance with what we're about to read. You can create your own story looking at the picture. Okay, so let's begin the passage. Now its title is A Magician. Now we observe the picture. Now please observe my reading. Many years ago, there was a beautiful village named Goswana. It was located on the bank of the Ganga River. People in the village were very hardworking and most of them were good at farming. They used to raise many pets and grow many crops. Once in the rainy season in July, the heavy run caused a great flood in the river and brought great misfortune for the villagers. The flood swept a huge snake to the village. It began to eat their pets. So a flood brings in a very huge snake, a very big snake, which eventually starts to eat their pets. After 2 months, it ate up all the small and big animals. Soon the snake began to eat small children. One night, all the villagers sat together. "How do we get rid of the snake?" said the headman of that village. Nobody dared to kill that huge snake. That night, a magician came there. He had got tattoos of snakes all over his body. I can help you get rid of the snake, he said. All the villagers sighed deeply at his thought and prayed the magician, please have mercy on us, save us from this fearful snake. The magician took out his magic box and cast a spell. To everyone's surprise, the snake came out of the river, making a dreadful hissing sound. All the villagers got afraid and ran away, but the magician waited for the snake to come near. When it came near, he cast another spell, and the snake turned into a beautiful stick. The magician threw the stick in the river and said, the stick will appear on the bank of the river in every rainy season. Whoever will find it, throw it back in the river. Remember, if anybody breaks the stick, it will again turn into the snake. As told by the magician, the stick was seen on the bank in the rainy season for 5 years, and the villagers used to throw it back in the river. Unluckily, once the stick was picked out by a beggar. He thought to sell it in the market as it looked very beautiful. He thought of getting a good price. On the way, he fell down and the stick got broken. Soon the broken pieces changed into a huge snake. It swallowed the beggar at once and came to the village, Goswana. The snake again began to eat the pets and villagers. The villagers called the same magician again. He cast his spell and turned the snake into a small fly. He kept the fly in his magic box and went away. The villagers lived happily thereafter. So it's all about a very vicious snake, a very huge snake who created quite a trouble in a village named Goswana, and where it meets a magician, and the magician first turns the snake into a stick, a beautiful stick, and later on again he turns the snake into a fly. Alright, very simple but a good story. Now, one more thing that I would like to add here. Now, of course, to build up your vocabulary, okay? Now, what I want all of you to do is follow this particular format to build up your vocabulary. Now, as you read, it's very obvious you'll come across words whose meaning you not understand, okay? So, let's say when you're reading, you could not understand the word misfortune. So, how are you going to do it? One word, misfortune. Now, and then we seek for its meaning. Now, if that's the word, what do you think its meaning is going to be? And of course, you definitely need a dictionary to do this work. Right? It's a very good habit to read the dictionary, by the way. And now, what we have to do is find out the word misfortune in the dictionary. All right? And which it describes as something as simple as bad luck. Right? It could also be ill luck. It's unnecessary or unseen trouble. Okay. Now that we know the meaning of misfortune, and we go for part of speech. Now it's part of speech is noun. Now part of speech is always given in the dictionary. Just next to the word, it's either written N or V or ADV or ADZ. And N for noun, V for verb, ADV for adverb, or ADZ for adjective. So part of speech is always there. And once we write part of speech, again we write down sentence from the book. Now you turn the pages, or you can turn the video, which I read a while ago, and see where lies the word misfortune and how the word misfortune is used in the sentence. So it starts there. Once in the rainy season in July, the heavy rain caused a great flood in the river and brought great misfortune for the villagers. And remember, a sentence always should make sense. And if it's too long, you can make it shorter as long as it makes sense. So I'm going to write down the second part of the sentence. That is, I'm going to write from here. The heavy rain caused a great flood in the river and brought great misfortune for the villagers. See, this is where the word misfortune comes, meaning great bad luck. The heavy rain caused a great flood in the river and brought great misfortune for the villagers. And finally, you are going to write down my sentence. Now let's go to my sentence. Now that you know the word, now that you know the word, you know its meaning, you know it's part of speech as well, whether it's noun or verb or adjective or adverb, and you also know it's how the word is used in the sentence in the book. Now, of course, you are supposed to make a sentence of your own, which should be very easy for you all right? So it's entirely your sentence, and remember always to make a sentence that makes sense, all right? Some sensible sentence that you can, of course, do it in the classroom. Now, let's continue with the exercises here. Okay, now a very simple exercise once again. Say whether the following statements are true or false. Now, based on the passage which I read a while ago, state whether these sentences are true or false. The villagers were good at growing crops. Is that true or is that false? You see, if you look at the first paragraph, it definitely talks about It was located on the bank of the Ganga River. Whenever you have any civilization next to the river, that always means that you'll have wonderful crops there. So, of course, let's not delay. Just write. It's true. See? They killed the snake at last. Did they actually kill the snake? Of course not. They never killed the snake. Alright, so just true or false. Of course, you can do it in the classroom. The snake was very dreadful. And if you don't know the meaning of dreadful, follow the format which I taught you earlier. The magician changed the stick into a big snake. Is that the truth? Finally, the magician changed the snake into a fly. Is that the truth? So, whether it's true or false. Now, let's look at the question and answer. Shall we? Number A, answer these questions. Answer these questions. Before we begin the exercise, before we began the reading passes, all right, remember I gave you work, observe the picture and write about it in your own words. Okay, so there's one more question to it. Number first, let me say. How did the snake trouble the villagers? How did the snake trouble the villagers? Remember, the snake created a big trouble to all the villagers. Now, observe the tense, right? The question is asked in. How did? Simple past, okay? So we keep that in mind and we write down the answer. Remember, the first part, most of the times, the first part begins right from the question. So we begin the snake. Now, because it's in simple past, we have to take the following verb to simple past. The snake, by adding ed here in this case. How did the snake trouble the village? How did the snake create a great trouble to the villagers? The snake troubled the villagers by eating all the small and big animals. The snake later started eating up small children of the village. See? A very simple answer. So this is how the snake created a great havoc or trouble in the village. The snake troubled the villagers by eating all the small and big animals. The snake later started eating up small children of the village. So this is how the villagers were troubled by the snake. Let's go on to next question here. Where was Goswana situated? Very simple. Where was Goswana situated? So where was it that Goswana was situated? Of course, take care of this auxiliary verb. Was. Goswana was situated where? See, very, very simple exercise. Goswana was situated on the bank of the Ganga River. Now, let's move further. You can do that on your own, of course. Number 3. Why were the villagers worried? The villagers were worried because, remember the biggest snake? Again, a very simple question. Now, what happened once in the rainy season? Once in the rainy season, the great flood swept a huge snake to the village. Once in the rainy season, the great flood swept a huge snake to the village. So that's what happened once in the rainy season. Okay. Now, again, number 5. Very simple. Sorry, who changed the snake into a stick? Isn't it very simple? Let's move further. Number 6. Why did the magician tell the villagers not to break stick? Don't you know the answer? Of course, you should know it, right? Why did the magician tell the villagers not to break the stick? What was it that the magician perhaps was scared of? That, hey, you shouldn't be breaking the stick. And what happened when the stick finally broke? That's the very answer. Now, let's continue. Remember, your answer begins from here. The magician changes to told, as is in simple past, told the villagers not to break the stick because, and then you write your own answer to that. Number 7. Who decided to sell the stick? What happened to him? Who decided to sell the stick? What happened to him? Again, the answer lies right in the passes. Now, as we move further, now let's look at one more exercise here. Number 3. Find the words from the story that are opposite in meaning. Alright, so find the words from the story that are opposite in meaning. Now the words are given here, and of course the opposite words, when you write something just the opposite, you call it antonym in English. Antonym means just the opposite. For instance, example, if it's happy, its antonym, its opposite word is going to be sad, isn't it? So antonym, see, it's opposite word. Now, the book has given you the word ugly, ugly. All right. Now the words are given in the passage, So of course, the very first line of the passage says beautiful. So just write down beautiful. It comes right from the passage. You can replay the video if you want to and see where I had read the first paragraph. There is the word beautiful. Similarly, as I proceed further, good luck. I know you already know this. Find the words opposite to good luck now, okay? Next is tiny. Again, very simple. Remember, if you don't know the meaning of tiny, you can refer to dictionary, or you can again start doing the vocabulary word. We have taught you. Disappear. Again, you can find its opposite meaning, which is right in the passage. Let's continue the exercise. Now, as we move further, let's look at this. Solve the puzzle with the clues given below. Now, here are the clues given below. A very wonderful exercise, isn't it? So I'm going to do one across and one down. Here it says, name the season that starts with A. So A, one across means, now by the way, across means this, horizontal, okay? And on the other hand, vertical, or if it says down, it simply means vertical. And vertical means, okay, this is vertical. So I'm going to do one across here. A-U-T is there. U-M-M, autumn. Done. Name of season that starts with S. Again, it's in the passage. Name of season that starts with W. Again, very simple. The fourth day, my goodness, very simple. Look at that. The fourth day, number 4, down. Okay, where is number 4? Okay, in this case, you'll have to go for you have to make this number 3, okay? Okay, that's number 3. So number 3 is again here. Fourth day. So it will give you, of course, what is the fourth day? We call it, the fourth day is what we call W-E-D-N-E-S-D-A-Y. Let me help you with the number here. The fifth month. The fifth month, that's again across. If nothing is given, that's across, okay? Or rather, that's the first month. The first month is number 4. Number 4, it starts from here. So I'll help you with the number here. So that's 3. This is 4 again. This is 5. This is 6. This is 7. This is 8. This is 9. And this is 10. And the rest, you can, of course, do it yourself now. Well, thank you very much. And if you have any queries, feel free to email us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.